A very common question I get is in regards to Chickee huts, Tiki huts, whatever you want to call them. A lot of people want to build their dock, like say do a T-dock or an L-dock, and then on the end of the platform, they want to do a Tiki hut. Totally cool, awesome, put your fish clean table underneath it, lights, plumbing, electric, etc. They're sweet. But you don't see a lot of them, and there's a reason for that. They're incredibly hard to permit, they're kind of a pain in the ass, and they're pretty expensive. So people ask all the time, hey, can I put a Chickee hut out on my dock? If you read the rules, Army Corps and DP don't have any issues against it. It's more of a local building code issue. So the local building code says, and it varies a tiny bit, but it's pretty standard between Monroe County, City, Marathon, and Islamorada. The local building code says that you can have up to a 10 by 10 open air roof structure on your dock. So that would be 100 square feet, 10 by 10, no walls on the sides. You can have just a roof, and the 10 by 10 is measured to your drip line, which this is where it creates a little bit of an issue then with another contradicting building code at the local level, also at the Army Corps and DEP level. So across Army Corps, DEP, and local building code, you can only have a platform on the end of your dock that measures 160 square feet, and it can't exceed more than 8 foot in one direction. So the most common that we see is an 8 by 20. It can be straight, it can be an L, it can be a T, whatever. But say if you have your dock coming out, your T head this way, it goes 20 this way and 8 this way, because you can only exceed 8 feet in one direction. Why that's an issue is because then they have the rule about the 10 by 10 open air structure. So people think that that means, okay, I got 10 by 10. But the problem is you do have 10 by 10, but it's to the drip line. And also your platform is only 8 foot by 20 foot. So in one direction, your platform is only 8 feet wide. So the maximum that you can do is have the poles for your roof at 8 feet wide. So you can't actually get 10 by 10 like people think. This 10 by 10 to drip line. So from a width standpoint, perpendicular to shoreline, we'll call it, if we put it on the platform, it can be 8 feet wide. So if you're on your dock, walking down the T-head into it, the opening will be 8 feet wide because that's where the poles are. The drip line can extend past that to make 10. Now, the other way, since you have 20 to work with, you can space those poles at 10. It'll be exactly 10. Sorry, it won't be exactly 10. Your drip line will be exactly 10, but again, a standard spacing is 10 foot for those pilings. You have to reduce them to 8 to allow for a foot of drip line on either side. So it's not that it can't be done. It is harder to permit. It is allowable. They are pretty expensive build. Average cost for that's like 10 grand. The problem is then on the thatching is sacrificial. So the way that Chickee huts are designed is actually the thatching, the leaves, the palm fronds that you see on it, those are designed as sacrificial. They don't meet building codes, but it's just leaves. So they allow for them to not be included in the calculations for the high velocity hurricane zone to meet 180 mile per hour plus wind load calcs. Because it's sacrificial, the blow away, they're just leaves, they're not going to do any damage to any surrounding structures. So it's really just getting, when you talk to people about them, bypassing the fact that they're not going to actually get 10 by 10. It's 8 by 8 because of the poles, and then the overhang is going to make it the 10 by 10. And then anytime there's a storm, you're going to have an issue because it blows away, you got to get redone, etc., etc. It's quite the pain, and they're also, like I said, they're harder to permit. So what I'll see people do a lot actually is they do a standard 8 by 20 platform, but they do 8 feet the one way like you have to, and then 10 the other way, and they'll actually leave those pilings tall. And then they'll put a keyword temporary canvas sail on top of it. Like, I don't know if you've all seen them, been by Robbie's, different restaurants, where they'll take these triangular canvases and pull them in different directions. So what I see people do sometimes is they'll leave their pilings, instead of doing them like 42 inches above deck height, which is normal, they'll run them like 7 feet or 6 feet above deck height. And then they'll put eye hooks on the top, drill them into the piling, and then they'll pull these canvas sails each way. They're coming triangles typically, so you pull one the other way, the other way, so it makes you a square. But why that's cool is because it's temporary, you don't have to put it through permitting, and then also if there's ever a storm or anything, you just take it down, and it's a lot easier to get done then because you don't have to permit the actual Chickee hut or pay for it to get built. So just another little pro tip around permitting, setting expectations, etc. So let me know if you have any questions.